Welcome to Skill Sprint with me, Chris Webber. This video is a quick highlight reel of my latest episode of the Commercial Edge podcast. I use my notes and scribbles from the full-length conversation to pull out what I feel are the headlines and lessons from my most recent expert guest. Drawing on my experience, this video gives you all the key points without the stories. My hope is that you can use these tips and tricks to unleash the power of your people. Lyndsey Knox was our guest today on the podcast on the Commercial Edge. Lyndsey has an amazing career in that she started out her life as a singer in a band, which of course 4 years ago, when we were all hit by the COVID pandemic, came to a big standstill, an abrupt standstill. And she was left without gigs, without a way of making money, and actually at the time reflecting on life and which direction she's going to take it. She took herself in a completely different direction. She went and trained to be a personal trainer. Well, first of all, she got herself fit, and then she went and qualified as a personal trainer. And she's an inspiration to thousands of people now. She has got a very popular Instagram account, and she's trained hundreds of people, transforming their lives. And I wanted to talk to her about accountability. Why? Well, accountability is incredibly important when we think about changes we're going to make to ourselves, to our own lives, accountability to ourselves. And in this series, we've talked to a number of different people about accountability. We've talked about accountability of leadership. We've talked about accountability to staff. We've talked about accountability to customers and to suppliers. What about accountability to ourselves? Well, who better to talk about that than Lyndsey? And it was an amazing conversation. The headline that I took from her, and it came out at the end of the conversation, was her personal accountability for excellence. And I cannot underestimate how important I think this is for us as individuals, as managers, as leaders, being accountable for excellence, holding our teams accountable for excellence, because that's going to be transformational. It seems that we seek out people who make us accountable for excellence. That's exactly Lyndsey's experience. People come to her because of her journey, because of what she's been able to achieve, and they want to train with her. They want to work with her because they see the standards that she sets and that she holds herself to, and they want to be part of that too. And I think that is such an important message, that we as leaders, as managers, are accountable for the excellence of our team. And if we don't hold high standards, then who is? Who can? So then we talked about how. How did she do that? What's the starting point? Well, the starting point is a focus on why. She opens her heart to people. She wants to know why they're doing this. Why do they want to get fit? What's the motivation? And she'll dig. She'll dig deep within the surface to understand what's motivating people. Why are you coming to talk to me? And she hears people say, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight. She doesn't leave it there. What's the problem we're going to solve? And some of the answers are really specific, like, I want to be able to get on an aeroplane without having to use a seatbelt extender. Well, that is huge, isn't it? I don't know if we spend enough time really focusing on why, on what's going to motivate people. Why do they work? We take it that we understand that they want to do this job. I'm sure that we translate our own motives onto people that we work with. How often do we ask people why you are doing this? What does this job bring to you? What do you do with the money? What do you do with the lifestyle? What do you do with the freedom? Because I think when you understand that, it opens doors to inspire, to motivate people to get to their goals, to get to the things that they want to achieve, which is the second part of setting goals, being accountable for those goals. People want to achieve things in life. When they write them down, then they become accountable to them. And my final question to Lyndsey was, what is your advice to someone who wants to change your life, to change their life, to change who they are? And she said 4 things. Be fearless. Wow. Just do it, right? Be courageous. Be fearless. A wonderful piece of advice for someone who wants to make a change to life. Yeah, don't be afraid of it. Go for it. Second thing she said, write it down. Write down what it is you want to do, because when it's written down, you can share it and you can hold yourself accountable for something that you wrote down. The third thing is believe. She has seen people do incredible things, achieve things they never thought was possible because they believed in it, because they wrote it down, because they were courageous. And the final piece of advice is get help. Of course, we can't do things alone. We need a coach. We need a personal trainer. We need support from our friends and our colleagues. But I know that if we can take this advice, we can transform who we are, what we are, and how we achieve things. And I think it's a wonderful way to consider accountability to ourselves, to be courageous, and to make changes. Wonderful episode. So much for me to take away and to refocus on. I'm personally going to go away and start thinking about writing down and being courageous about my goals.